into it.
Look at your situation. We are in a state of crisis. So black women in decisions you would have normally made another way, you have to look at them differently now because of your options. I'm going to give you another mistake black women make. So one is postponing marriage and childbirth to after college. Two, demanding that your husband be of the same religious persuasion. And you know what the third one is?
What's that?
Wanting black men to come to the relationship table having already achieved success. One of the biggest advantages the snow bunnies have on our women is snow bunnies will find a dusty brother and see his skill, his talent, you feel me?
Yeah.
Invest in him in college. And by the time he become a multimillionaire at 35, she been with him the whole walk. You see that? A lot of sisters are not going to do that. They're not going to find a dusty brother in his senior year or dusty brother in the community. But you see, he got this business idea. She like, nah, come back and see me when it's up and running. I don't think this ever going to happen. Soon when you waved him off, the snow bunny got him. The snow bunny invested in him. You feel me? 10 years later, the same brother see you trying to holler. He got the white girl. Now you dissing him. You saying they all want white girls. Nah, he came to you. You said you want a ready-made black man. You don't want a work in progress. And I'm telling black women, y'all better start going for some of these works in progress instead of waiting for us to finish the job because you losing to the snow bunny when you tell us to wait until we got the bag.
Cartel, what's good, gang?
What's up, bro?
Hey, to the sister in the comments, you're free to come up here. I mean, you know, the first video, I'm very curious to hear what everyone has to say about it. But I mean, the second video, he's talking directly to black women. So you're free to come up here if you want to. Cartel, I'm gonna play the first video one more time, and then we're going to get into it because this is a longer video, and I want everyone to hear what he really had to say. Let's get break it. So I'm gonna play the first video one more time. Kev, what's good, bro? You can come up here if you want to as well. I'm going to play the first audio one more time, and we're going to discuss the first audio. Just want to make sure that we hear everything that he had to say.
Take economics. Money and sex. Those two variables play too big of a role in our relationships. Sex is important. Money is important. But they should not be the be-all and end-all of whether or not the relationship is going to make sense. And if money and sex are dominating the relationship is being ran on a superficial structure because money runs out. How you perform in bed, that will dim over time too. So we cannot be coming together for money and sex because if that's the case, this really isn't a relationship. It's a pleasure contract. And a lot of us in the community have pleasure contracts we call relationships. And the difference between a pleasure contract and a relationship is a relationship requires obligation and accountability. See, when you have a pleasure contract, I sex my queen when I sex her. We go to the movies when we want to go to the movies. We go to the Bahamas when we want to go to the Bahamas. We go to the festival when we want to go to, it's all pleasure based. I see you when you want to see me. You see me when you want to see me. Relationship, I'm accountable to you whether we having fun or not. Relationship, your long-term best interest as a human being is part of my responsibility. A lot of people are calling pleasure contracts and situationships, which is when neither one of you really know what the hell this is. We're calling them relationships and they're not. So number one, we got to be honest about what the particular structure is. Is this situationship? We just trying to figure it out. Is this a pleasure contract? We just having fun in and out of the bed when we feel like it? Or is this a relationship where you're going to be accountable to me even when you are angry and upset and don't want to be bothered? What exactly is this? Because there's a big difference. And unfortunately, because we don't communicate with the women in our lives as men, once they open their legs, they tend to assume that there's some sort of a relationship here. No matter how minuscule, we never clarify that. And the reason we never clarified that is in our selfishness as men, we like to have our cake and eat it too. So we know she's developing a bond. You understand? But we're never going to clarify the bond because I want to be able to dip out the back door the minute she puts too much responsibility on me. Where had if you told her up front, this is just a pleasure contract, an arrangement, she could have probably done a better job of keeping her feelings to herself. But because we don't want to see her with nobody else, we would rather run the risk of hurting her spiritually and emotionally than let her go free to find what she really needs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the infamous, the one and only Cartel Samuels Jr. on the panel right now. If anyone else, if you want to come up and discuss, what we just listened to, you are free to come up here as well. If you can read what's on the screen, it says Dr. Umar says money and sex play too big of a role in black relationships, says they should not be the end all be all, says a lot of black men and women are in pleasure contracts and situationships and not relationships. So the question I have is he speaking big facts or big fiction? Do black men and women, especially in their 20s, really desire relationships? And I said, are pleasure contracts and situationships preferred? So, Cartel, what is your analysis of what you just heard him say? Do you agree with some? Do you disagree with some, brother?
I agree with what he said, like, the pleasure contracts, because, when you hear people talking about dating and all that, you rarely hear anybody speak about, how much somebody is supposed to love you. You always hear about, yeah, what he said, like, so far as, the sex, and you hear about how much money somebody's supposed to have. You don't really hear nobody talk about, like love. You rarely hear that in any type of relationship nowadays. You hear people speaking, even the dating coaches. You don't hear them talk about, fall in love with this, fall in love with that. You hear them talk about, oh, if they don't have this much money, or if they don't have this much money, or if they don't got a car, if they ain't got a crib. That's all you really hear. So yeah, people definitely hopping in relationships for the wrong reason. When you hop in relationships just for money and sex, you definitely it's gonna be hard to grow. Like I say, ain't no love there. You know.
Cartel, do you actually think, from what you've seen, in real life, like you said, from what these dating coaches be saying, from what you hear men and women say on these different platforms, do you even think a lot of men and women actually even really desire relationships, especially like younger men and women, like I say people in their 20s? Do you think what Miss Dr. Umar is referring to as pleasure contracts in
Yeah.
situationships, do you think there's a good amount of people that actually prefer that type of arrangement?
I mean, I would say yes, because that's what's really going on. People getting in situationships. You got people glorifying, sneaky links, and if somebody is in a real relationship or something like that, you got the outside try to tear them down, and them numbers are out of control. So, like I really feel like, yeah, people choosing to really that's what people choosing to do. Like I say, people get in relationships for the wrong reason. People are literally choosing, just like I say, it's all about lust. That's what it's about. It's about money and lust. Like nothing else, no love.
No, I think you just used the best word to actually sum everything up. Lust. Because me personally, Cartel, I think, what he's referring to as pleasure contracts and
Yeah,
situationships. I actually think that sort of arrangement is desired amongst a lot of men and women, especially men and women that have options. I don't
yeah,
think a lot of people really want to do the work that comes with being in a relationship and commit to one person. I
right.
honestly don't think that. I think people do. I think there's a lot of men and women that actually just do want to deal with people on a basis by basis, situation, basis by basis circumstance. I don't think
Yeah,
because, like,
on their own time.
especially a man with options, Cartel, if he can
Yeah.
have, and he's younger and he's having his way, if he can have five girlfriends, a lot of young men want to have five girlfriends instead of having one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely, that's most def. Yeah. Like I say early, I really feel like this. Like I say, it's a different generation. I can see if it was really the old days when we really didn't have like the freedoms that we have. But since it's a new day, I really tell people to just get out there and live their life before they even really think about relationships, or before they even think about marriage. Because it's just so much going on, and then there's just so much you can do. And then you never know. The love of your life might be in a whole different country or something like that. Like I say, that go for men and women. Like you never know. Like you could just really, there's a society that you could just expand your territory, just expand your life. And then, like I say, with all the options that's really available for all us today, I just say, step back from the relationship scene, just for men and women, just really, chase what's best for you. You know, like I say, yeah, really do that. Chase what's best for you. And then, like I say, getting married or being in a relationship like in your 30s, that's really what I believe. Because
Right.
shit, like I say, when you're young and you got options, that's just not smart.
Right. And this is another thing, Cartel. I don't want you to speak on this. I personally think that um I think there was a point in time when I was younger, when you were younger, when people didn't have access to all these people like they have today. I
Yeah,
think people were more prone just innately to try to work through the problems and the issues that they were experiencing in their relationships. But I think nowadays, when things get tough, when things get rough, people are like, you know what? I could just go on my phone. I can go on TikTok. I can go on
yeah,
Instagram. I can go on Facebook, and such is on my bumper, anyways. So I don't
yeah.
even have to really even deal with you anymore because I got somebody else that I got another man or another woman that wants my attention. So
Right.
I think today innately a lot of people don't even aren't even really interested in trying to work through the issues that they may be experiencing in their relationship.
Yeah, hey, that's true. Listen, that's one thing the internet did. The internet made it easier for people not to fight for relationships because if you know you got actual people in your DM or your inbox as a man or a woman just telling you selling you all types of dreams, and the person that you're dealing with getting on your nerves, you go give in. That's why I say, like I say, it ain't really the internet that's a problem. It's the people that's on the internet. That's why you can't just you can't reach out to nobody else when you're going through something. But that's the type of generation that it is. That's why I say like now you got to let people just really grow. Like even people in their 20s and stuff like that, they still mature. I mean, they still immature.
Right.
Like I say, they go for men and women. Like it's just dangerous out here to really just try to just really pursue a relationship in your 20s. That's just me. That's just me. That's just what I'm seeing. I ain't going off statistics or nothing like that. I'm going off a lot of shit that I just be seeing out here. Like the shit. So, like I say though, bro, it is what it is.
Now let's listen. We're going to listen to the second audio, everyone, and we're going to have Cartel give his thoughts on this as well. So this is the second audio, ladies and gentlemen.
Into it. Look at your situation. We are in a state of crisis. So black women and black men got to understand decisions you would have normally made another way. You have to look at them differently now because of your options. I'm going to give you another mistake black women make. So one is postponing marriage and childbirth to after college. Two, demanding that your husband be of the same religious persuasion. And you know what the third one is? What's that? Wanting black men to come to the relationship table having already achieved success. One of the biggest advantages the snow bunnies have on our women is snow bunnies will find a dusty brother and see his skill, his talent, you feel me? Yeah. Invest in him in college. And by the time he become a multimillionaire at 35, she been with him the whole walk. You see that? A lot of sisters are not going to do that. They're not going to find a dusty brother in his senior year or dusty brother in the community. But you see, he got this business idea. She like, nah, come back and see me when it's up and running. I don't think this ever going to happen. Soon when you waved him off, the snow bunny got him. The snow bunny invested in him. You feel me? 10 years later, the same brother see you trying to holler. He got the white girl. Now you dissing him. You saying they all want white girls. Nah, he came to you. You said you want a ready-made black man. You don't want a work in progress. And I'm telling black women, y'all better start going for some of these works in progress instead of waiting for us to finish the job because you losing to the snow bunny when you tell us to wait until we got the bag.
Thank you for the gift. I'm sorry, mugging Revenger too. So Cartel, what are your thoughts on what you just heard, man? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I just want to make something. I want to specify something before you speak. So y'all heard what he just said, but there were three mistakes that he said black women are making. The first one he said was postponing marriage and children until after college. He said the second thing was wanting to like marry someone that's of the same religious denomination as them. And then the third thing, like you said, he essentially was saying that black women are not interested in men that are a work in progress. They want men to already, have whatever level of success the man that they desire to be with is at already. So what's your thoughts on all that, Cartel?
like the first part, so far as when he's talking about, like so far as, with women getting married early or whatever the case may be, like I say, I still stand on that. I just feel like, relationships and marriages, like you should really live your life and just explore the world before you really go that route. And I really think you need your 20s to do that. But when it comes to what he say? Like I do feel like it is what he said about the women want the brother that's already successful. Yeah,
Right.
and like I say, no disrespect, but you definitely hear them speaking that they want the man that's already put together. They don't want to help build the man. They don't want to build with the man, and that's perfectly fine. But like I say, and that's not all women, but most definitely what he talking about, like so far as like a lot of these white women that be with these guys that be in the NBA, you notice those white women be with them from high school or college and shit like that. Even if they end up divorcing them in the end, they still be with their ass in they earlier years when a lot of dudes can't get no attention and shit like that. So I definitely agree with that, like because that's some people cases. It ain't every case. It ain't every case of a black man that's dating outside his race, but it's definitely some cases of black men that date outside their race.
Cartel, where do you personally think this mentality that our women have, especially the younger woman, of
Hmm.
not being interested in building with a man, where do you personally think that is stemming from? Like, where do you think the what do you think the root cause of that is?
Oh, of
I
course,
mean,
feminists, and listening to other women and shit like that really can't keep a man and shit like that. So they just trying to make it hard for somebody else's life. That's really who they listen to. It's a bunch of lost women listening to women. And like I say, I blame all that lost shit when it comes to women on the feminist movement. It ain't us telling them that.